Hey, I'm Bobb Bruno. I play guitars, bass, etc. in Best Coast, and I also play bass for Ahmad Wasif and Charles. And I'm going to talk about the Swiss Things by Earthquaker. I put it here on, this is the baseboard I use because with the pedals on here, I can pretty much cover any kind of sounds when I'm doing live stuff or session. All right, so I'm gonna go over how I have the loop set up here on the Swiss thing. You go in right here, there's your input, and loop 1 triggers from here. So in that, I have a fuzz with an octave, and then I have overdrive with the Westwood here. So I can control either of those in loop 1. The cool thing is there'll be some times where I'll have both of them on if I want to really gnarly or just do some kind of noise stuff, just, bring them in or take them out. So yeah, that's loop 1. And again, no buffer, just clean, pure. And then loop 2, that has a buffer. That's for modulation, delays, reverbs, any of that sort of thing. But in mine, I also have these keyboard pedals. One's a Mellotron, one is an organ, and then those go out to the Avalanche run, which is doing both reverb and delay. And before, I'd have to turn reverb, I'd have to turn one of the organ pedals or keyboard pedals on first and then quickly hit this. But having them all in one loop, with one touch, everything's there. It's really cool also, if you have a modulation pedal or delay that does, some noisy self-oscillation stuff, with the flex switch, you can bring it in and out, stutter it if you want. Use the switch as an effect, and you can bring it in and out, or use the expression to take it out and then bring it back in. I immediately thought of putting it on the board I use when I'm playing bass, because most of the time when I'm playing, it's a 3-piece and I have these keyboard pedals. They need some kind of, delay reverb so they don't just sound totally dry. And it'd be a lot of clicking, one right after the other. So putting them in the loop took care of all that. I can, have my settings before the song even starts and then bring them in to the loop when necessary. Same with the distortions, because one has a built-in octave, one doesn't. So get those set up and then, have them in the loop. And the other great thing, this is really one of my favorite things, is there's also clean boost built into this, which before I used to have a separate pedal just to be the clean boost for the bass. Especially a lot of times I'm playing with the house amp. So that's really handy. And, I have it probably at like 9 o'clock right now. And I've dimed it just when I was first put it on, and it stays clean. It sounds really great. It's almost tempting a lot of times to just leave it on the whole time, because something about the way it sounds, especially with this combination of pedals, is just really great. I mean, an important thing is read the manual, look at the block diagram, and that is kind of how my ideas for how to use this got generated. I wasn't using amp switcher before, but it's great having one. I can have 2 amps with different settings. Usually I'm going to run both of them at the same time. I'm not doing any stereo effects, so it's just, having one that can handle the low end better, and then having one to kind of takes the bright bass tone and the distortion pedals better. Before this, I was not using a volume pedal. Well, actually, it's not even volume pedal. The great thing about this is you can use an expression pedal, add your volume pedal, so there's no signal loss like you would get with a normal volume pedal. And the expression pedals are usually a lot smoother than standard volume pedals, at least in my experience. And the other thing that kind of, I was like, okay, so there's a tuner out, and the tuner has to be on the whole time. So how do I mute? And then I was like, oh, okay, use the volume pedal to mute. Your tuner's always on, so you don't even have to mess with that at all. With the volume pedal, it's cool because you can taper your distorted volumes. You can do swells with all the loops, which is really great.